did not think I'd be addressing us tonight as the Democratic nominee for governor, but it happened. It happened because of many of you. Many of you in this room who stood with us, and even those who came over afterwards, we welcome you too. Because we need everybody in order to win back this state on November 6th, which we're intent on doing. I see you, Nikki Barnes. I see you, Sean Pittman, our finance chairman, and his wife, Audra, who were early supporters. And I need y'all to give Sean a little bit of love, because as finance chairman, he has got to help me and Chris figure out how we're going to raise $60 million in like 50 days, which is more money than I can conceive of. But I'm so thankful for them leaning in and helping to make that happen. I will not tarry long, but I can't tell you, words are insufficient to express, quite frankly, what this community means to me. When I was 23 years old, fresh off the campus of Florida A&M University, go Rattlers, against probably most advice, I decided that I was going to run to join the Tallahassee City Commission at the age of 23. I remember, again, not many people believing that it was possible. I raised a whopping $6,000 for my first rung of the race. And of course, I did what any 23-year-old who has $6,000 would do. I bought everybody I knew a t-shirt. And I figured if I couldn't go up on television and I couldn't get billboards, at least have walking billboards, right? Make it appear as if there are more supporters out there than there really were. But we knocked on doors and we talked to people, and I'll never forget Anita Favors Thompson going to Tiger Bay and presenting myself in that meeting and having the institutions of Tallahassee come up and say, you know, I'm with the other guy, but you know, you're pretty bright. Keep going, you know, keep fighting. And of course I kept saying, well, I'm gonna win. And of course, again, that was just between me and God, the recesses of my mind. But it would happen that was an ambition shared not only by me, but by tens of thousands of you, who gave me the only thing in life my mother ever told me to ask for, which was a chance. And with that chance, y'all allowed me to go forward to do things in this community with your help, with your wind at my back, that I think has allowed a lot of us to stand a little bit taller and a little bit prouder for the community that we have been able to create. We are. Let me say this. I'm going to say this because certain outlets won't always give you this. We are the fastest growing economy in the state of Florida per capita, right here in Tallahassee, Florida. We are that. We are a tech hire city, a designation that only went to two cities in the state of Florida, Tallahassee being one of them, because of the work that we're doing to retrain workers for the technology-related jobs that exist today. We did that right here in the city of Tallahassee. Yeah. We are an all-America city here in the city of Tallahassee. The crime rate in our city is at a 5-year low, and we are on trajectory to potentially be at a 20-year low if we keep going at the rate that we're going. That is fact. That is fact. And we don't always get that, but it's important to remind each of you about this, because we gotta be proud of where we're from. I love where I live. I wouldn't choose another place on planet Earth to call home. Right here in the city of Tallahassee. And the way you can know I'm telling the truth is because the only other home I want is in Tallahassee, Florida. It just so happens to be a little closer to downtown. I'll be closer to work. And with y'all's help, we're gonna make it happen on November 6th. I want to say that I could not be prouder, RJ and I both, to be on this journey, sharing this road with our soon-to-be Lieutenant Governor and his wife, Kristen. Over the course of this trail, We had an opportunity to exchange ideas in every single setting where we found ourselves together. We gripped each other like brothers. Even though we had to go out on stages and try to perform our best and outdo each other in a few seconds of time and space that we had to present our platforms to this state, we always walked out of there saying, man, you did a good job. You say, man, you keep me on my feet. And the truth is that over the course, I was listening to him. I didn't ignore him, I was listening. With some others, I was trying to formulate my response. But when he spoke, my ears peaked up because he was talking about the things, in my opinion, that matter. He was on a similar journey as I was, which was to simply say that we don't have to shrink from who we are and what we believe to win this state. That we can run for governor. That we can run for governor of the state of Florida by being unapologetic and saying that we ought to pay teachers what they're worth for the job. We are talking about the people who do the most difficult work that exists in society. They're responsible for the shaping, the cultivating, the motivating, the inspiring of the minds of our most precious gifts, our children. And how dare us rip away the dignity of that profession. Where we right now in the state of Florida pay an average salary to teachers that is the 45th lowest out of 50 states. That's here in the state of Florida. Right here in the state of Florida, a public education system that is ranked 40th out of 50th in quality. Right here in the state of Florida where we fund mental health 50th out of 50th. I'll borrow this from Chris King. We're a back of the pack state in too many categories. But the good news is, y'all, is that change is on the horizon. On November 6th, we have the opportunity to transform this state. Not only for our children, but for the folks in our state who have come here to live out an amazing retirement and everything in between. We have a chance to build the kind of economy in the state of Florida where people can work one job instead of 2 and 3 jobs as a way of making ends meet. We can do that here in our state. I believe we will do that here in our state. Y'all, when you elect me governor of the state of Florida, you're going to have a governor who actually believes in science. And isn't that a notion? Isn't it a notion to say in the Department of Environmental Protection that you can actually utter the words global warming and climate change? We're going to have a governor who is actually going to put the emphasis of DEP back on protection. You want to know why, y'all? Because there is not a corporate profit that is big enough to be able to take away our clean air. There is not a company large enough that can contaminate our clean water bodies. There is not a campaign contribution big enough to cause me to shrink from what it means to protect our oceans and to get under control this blue-green algae and red tide that is taking over our state shorelines. We can do this, y'all. We can do it, but it takes a governor and a lieutenant governor who are prepared to stand up and to fight for what we believe in. Now, you all know me. You know my willingness to stand up to a good fight. You know that I was sued by the NRA and drugged through court for 2 years. All because in this city we said that we would not repeal an ordinance that simply said you cannot shoot guns in city parks. Right? Radical notion. We said you can't shoot guns in parks where our kids play and our families picnic. And in this state of Florida, where the gun lobby tends to run roughshod over all of us, they decided that they wanted to take me to court and sue me, and the good news is that we beat them at the circuit court, we beat them at the appellate court, and we said we'll see you in the Supreme Court if you want to take it there, right? We'll do that. Because I believe we have a responsibility to stand up for common sense gun reform. That it should not be too much to ask to say that our kids, when they go to school, they ought to be able to go to school and not have to worry about whether their lives are going to be snuffed out due to a shooter who has access to a high-capacity weapon and magazine that can fire off 60 bullets in 60 seconds. If you want to shoot that kind of weapon, you ought to join the military. Those weapons have no place on our city streets. None whatsoever. And we're willing to fight that fight. Y'all, the stakes are high. The next governor of this state will appoint 3 new Supreme Court justices to the Supreme Court. 3. And I'm telling you, I know what the governor is saying right now. I know what he's saying. But I got some real good lawyer friends. Folks like Patsy Palmer and Sandy D. Allenberg. Who we're going to form a team of lawyers to make sure that when we win this race on November 6th, the first order of business is to get in front of that Supreme Court and ensure that we will make those appointments to the Supreme Court. We're going to make those appointments. The next governor of the state of Florida will either sign into law or veto the next set of redistricting maps. And y'all know that we have a situation in this state where elected officials are choosing their voters rather than the voters choosing their elected officials. We're going to change that in the state of Florida. Together we're going to do that. Y'all, when we win this race, I commit to you that I will veto any budget that takes and drains the Sadowski Fund dollars that are intended to build affordable housing in this state, where we have a crisis, and we're going to put that money where it deserves to be placed. I look forward to appointing judges up and down the ballot in various circuits all across this state who are actually going to treat our criminal justice system with a level of justice and dignity for the people who come before it. I believe in comprehensive criminal justice reform, which is why I am a strong endorser of Amendment 4. Strong endorser of Amendment 4. Don't we? Because I believe that once you have paid your debt to society and you get back out, you ought to have your constitutional right to vote. Right? We have a chance to do that. We have a chance to do that, and we will do it. Y'all, the truth is that all of these things that we want for ourselves and for our neighbors in this state will not be possible if we don't do our jobs. Between now and October 4th, we have to get out there and register as many voters as we possibly can. We've got to get out there, and we've got to organize our neighbors, our colleagues, our co-workers, our friends, even the folks who we go to church and temple with, or maybe you're a bedside Baptist, therefore you can text them from the comfort of your own bed and let them know that we've got to get vote ready. Because although the polls may have Chris and I up, I want you to know this much. The only poll that matters is the one on election day. Forget about the rest. Forget about the rest. Because the polls will vacillate. In fact, they may be trying to do a head fake on you right now. Gillum and King are up. Don't worry about it. Election day is November 8th. Stay home until then. We got to be prepared for this. Because I don't know about y'all, but I remember some polls in 2016 that didn't work out the way that it was said to have worked out. So we've got to organize and we've got to vote in this race like our lives depend on it, y'all. Because if you believe like I believe, our lives do depend on who the next governor and lieutenant governor is of the state of Florida. So we've got to win this thing. And I'm telling you, I know the power of this team. And I want you to know that the 4 of us, we're going to leave it all on the field. We're going to go everywhere. We're going to talk to everybody. We're going to give voters in rural Florida, in suburban Florida, in rural Florida, in urban metro centers of this state a reason to come out and vote for something and not just against something. We know what our opponents are peddling. We know what they're peddling. We know that it will